So, pre-match to Arsenal versus Sheffield United at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane, and we're going to kick it off with a stat from the statman Adam Wilson, and it's our 11th Sunday match this season, and we've lost 8, but our only 2 Premier League draws this season have been on a Sunday, and it is Sunday, so things are looking up. We're going into the match with 3 changes to the starting lineup. Egan's back in as captain, and we've got Burke leading the line with McGoldrick, and I guess prior to this game, wasn't a great result at Leeds. We didn't play well at all. Wasn't really an enjoyable watch. So I'm hoping this week we can, pick up and really kick on. I'm saying kick on, and we're already, so many games into the season. But yeah, the only positive I guess we're looking at going into this game is Arsenal are in great form themselves, and they've never actually beaten us at Bramall Lane in the Premier League with 2 draws and 2 losses. So hopefully the one positive we can keep from this season is that we haven't lost to Arsenal in the Premier League at Bramall Lane. So fingers crossed the Blades can go out there and do the business, and let's see how this first half pans out. Well, first half got underway. We managed to keep hold of the ball really well for the first 10-15 minutes, having most of the possession, given it was in our own half. But we looked like we were calm on the ball compared to last week at Leeds, and it led us to have a great chance actually on 9 minutes for David McGoldrick. Osborne played a ball through to McGoldrick. His first touch let him down though, and he just snapshotted and dragged it wide of Leno's post. But I think if he had a better first touch, he's probably cleaned through and probably would score, which would have put us 1-0 up first 10 minutes. But then after that, Arsenal just got into the game. We went back to how we were against Leeds. It was shocking. Arsenal started us on the counter-attack. They played a lovely move and ended up with Martinelli on the left-hand side, who hit a shot into the side netting. And to be honest, if he'd have just squared it, there was 4 Arsenal players in front of Ramsdale, it'd have been 1-0. And it pretty much went, all Arsenal after that. We just lost all composure and all style of play again. And they were having shots pretty much left, right and centre of Ramsdale. 30 minutes in, Martinelli had another shot, 25 yards out. It deflected off Egan, I think, and Ramsdale made a great save actually, because it could have gone in easily with that deflection. And that was our first warning prior to their goal. Martinelli flashed another cross goal, and Chambers had his shot cleared off the line. And then a minute later, Arsenal have played this brilliant move where Lacazette's played a 1-2, and I think Ceballos has flicked it with the back heel, and he's just slotted it past Ramsdale into the bottom corner. And it was coming. We had warning signs early on prior to that, and we just didn't really look like we'd woken up again. For 10 minutes we were okay, but other than that, it's been all Arsenal. About 40 minutes in, Martinelli again has a corner whipped in. A corner gets whipped in, Martinelli gets his shot off from the corner and it hits McGoldrick and flies out for another corner. And I guess our only other chance, which came in the dying ends of the first half, was Norwood whipped in a cross from a short corner. Egan's headed it up and done really well to get a volley off it. Leno, who was straight at him, didn't really cause him much trouble, but that was our only real 2 attempts that half. Again, lacklustre from us. Heckingbottom don't really know what he's doing, let's be honest. Arsenal have had it so easy, and bear in mind Arsenal are not playing great at the minute either, and it's just looked like they're in the top 4. We're making it so easy for him. Burke's offered nothing running forward up front. McGoldrick's trying, but it's not good enough. And Lundstrom, Norwood and Fleck have been just bang average in midfield again. Lundstrom lacklustre. He played one pass which ballooned up in the air, and George Baldock smashed a ball into the cop in rage, and it just doesn't look good for us. So hopefully it doesn't get, cricket scores in this second half, because that was again another poor first half from us Blades at Bramall Lane.
Out for the second half at 1-0 down. The first half was dreadful. Could it get much worse? We started brightly for the first 5 minutes of the second half, looked to get into them and get forward, but that was about it. 50 minutes, the game really ended for the Blades as an attacking threat completely. Substitutions really didn't change anything. Brewster came on, tried to look lively, had a couple of snapshots, but nothing too special. McBurney came on and got injured. Ollie Burke made a decent run at the start of the second half, but again lacking in that final third, which as someone playing for a centre forward needs to be a bit more clinical. Then the second goal John Lundstrom, I said everything I needed to say last week about John Lundstrom, and he was at it again. It was dreadful. It then came through. Aaron Ramsdale parried it out. Could he have parried it else away from goal? Maybe, maybe not. But a simple tap in for Martinelli to make it 2-0. And then the game just drifted. It was easy for both sides. Arsenal players throwing themselves on the floor, picking up injuries. Ampadu with a really, really late booking after the third one that had gone in for Arsenal. That was Lacazette, which was a nice finish. It was on about 84 minutes. Ampadu was in the wrong position, but be fair to Lacazette, he finished it very nicely to make it 3-0. And a very, very easy day out for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal boys. The Blades, lacking passion, lacking fight, not giving 100% for the shirt. I'm afraid next Saturday or Sunday, depending on when the game's going to be played, is going to be curtains, and we will finally have that R next to our name. Once again, Sheffield United 0. Opponents more than 0. A dreadful season coming to a dreadful close with a great big whimper.
All right then, ladies and gentlemen, let's do some ratings for the game, the football game, the game of football that we endured. God, it's nearly over. Aaron Ramsdale, I'm going to give him a 6. Not really a fault for any of the goals. The parry, you could argue he could have parried it somewhere else, but his defence didn't help him out, and it's just one of those moments where he instinctively reacted. He did do the thing you'd be told to do as a goalkeeper, to parry it away. It just fell straight to Martinelli. So, I'm not a goalkeeper. Maybe there's keepers that can pop in the comments below and say, "You're wrong, you're an idiot." Well, also, you can do the ratings next time as well. Baldock, hard to know how much he's trained after concussion protocol. Did look a little bit off the pace. Probably going to give Balders a 5 for Gorgeous George. I might be being slightly generous. Didn't have his best game. Ender Stevens, I'm going to give him a 3. He's not been great for the last X amount of months, and he isn't a centre-back. But then again, it's not his fault that he's been played at centre-back. But never convinces me there. Ethan Ampadu had a decent game up until he didn't. He tries really hard. He runs back. Lundstrom, maybe watch some of that. But he was at fault when he was turned wrong side of Lacazette. Great finish from Lacazette. But yeah, he was really at fault there. Some good clearances and interceptions, though, during the game to give a free kick away with quite a poor challenge on the edge of the box. John Egan, there were moments where we saw classic John Egan, fairly masterful in his winning of the ball and bringing it out of defence, but there were other moments where he didn't look like John Egan at all. Just not really helped out either by what looked like lazy teammates at times. Certainly John Lundstrom. We'll get to him. We'll give Eags a 5. Ben Osborne, I love Ben Osborne. He's brilliant. He tries so hard, lacking a little bit of ability at times. He always offers himself. He was always there. He's very industrious, tried really hard. Just a few things that didn't quite come off for him, but he did give a lot of effort today. I'm actually going to give him, I want to say a 6. I do expect some pelters, but he just does try. And that's all I want from a Sheffield United player, 100% effort, even if they don't always have the ability. Ollie Norwood, not the same Norwood, is it? The ping is off, giving him a 5. If you twisted my arm, I'd easily say a 4. No one was on it today, but, Ollie was the same. Throwing him in the same bag as the rest of them, just not quite at the races. John Lundstrom, probably give him a 2. Just doesn't look like he cares too much. I don't really know why he is playing. It seems almost unfair on him. Is he trying to avoid injury for his Real Madrid move, and that's why he's not giving 100% effort? That's all we ask of you, John. Give your all. Lazy pass as well, which led to a goal. Fleck, not quite Flecky. When Fleck isn't Fleck, I always wonder that he's broken his back or something because he's always just so good. Not quite the Fleck of old. Going to give him a 5. Ollie Burke, almost invisible. He's got the pace, but really today, nothing else. Giving him a 3. Didsey, David McGoldrick, wins his headers, wins his flick-ons, tracks back. Got fed up at one point, had to go back really deep and make a tackle, which was a good tackle. Had a few sort of half moments where you think, here we go, something's going to happen. But he wasn't helped out by his teammates, no real creativity. I'd love to see him play deeper. But today just wasn't at it. So probably give him a 4.5. Ooh, you're getting a point. Brewster, looked kind of lively when he came on. I never want to be too harsh to the young lad. Give him a 5. McBurney, hard to rate really. So we'll give him a 4, but he's on very briefly, tries to make things happen, gets injured, off he goes. Lys Mousset, a 3, just for that shot, which was awful. It was embarrassing. It was terrible. It's on his stronger foot. He looks so unlike himself, and even himself that we saw against Arsenal before. Just, it's not Lys. Not giving the manager a rating, the head coach, because he just hasn't changed anything. It's your chance, Paul Heckingbottom, to affect change now. Show what you can do and stake a claim. You've not done that at all.
So positives and negatives today, Blades, and it's another week been and gone where there really aren't many positives to take. I am really struggling to think of any, to be honest. It's really difficult to come out and make these videos and feel at all optimistic about anything going forward, to be honest. Because this team, maybe even the squad, is just rotten to the core, to be honest, in my opinion. And I don't know. I don't think we're going to bounce back next year, much to what a lot of people hope, what we all hope would happen. But this sort of mentality is very, very difficult to get out of, especially quickly. And the new manager is going to have a massive, massive job on his hands, because he's going to need to make a lot of changes. I can take not being good enough. I can take being outplayed, but what I can't take is players just not putting effort in. And there was none of that today. None of it. It was just, there was barely any running. Every pass we made was just, it was just poor. Every pass was just barely anything put into him. There was no, purpose to anything we did. Dizzy had a couple of shots. That shot in the first half, he needs to be doing better. But then he tried to do a couple more shots in the second half. Like, he was never going to score, and there was better options on for him. I know he's just trying to make something happen, but sometimes you've got to look up. I'm really struggling to find things to say. I'm just so tired of watching this team, to be honest, because you know what's going to happen every game. And I don't know what the game plan was today. It was as if we tried to outplay them when we had the ball, which was never going to happen. And then when we didn't have the ball, we tried to sit in. And we know what happens when we sit in. We make a mistake. We concede a poor goal, which is exactly what we did, apart from the first one, which was actually a pretty good goal. I don't know why we're still persisting with this system that is clearly not working. It hasn't worked all season. Like, this was the perfect opportunity to actually try something different and for the players to actually show that they still had something in them to take forward, but we just don't. Only positive for me is that the season's nearly over, and when we're very close to having the R next to our name, and then we can actually move on from all of this, because I don't know what to say anymore.
So where does this team go from here? First of all, relegation almost certainly going to happen. I don't think anybody has any doubts about that now. It's an almost certainty. Our next game is Wolves. I can't see us winning that game. Maybe we can draw. Who knows? Wolves haven't been in the greatest run of form, but they did win this weekend against Fulham, so who knows there. As far as team composition, I mean, we need to stop playing Lundstrom. He made a mistake today, a glaring error that led directly to a goal. Not only the pass giving away, but then not running back and tracking the opposition correctly, basically just ball watching. So take him out of the team first off, and then whatever else we do, maybe it's playing the youngsters, maybe it's just try to not embarrass ourselves. It's hard to give suggestions on how to play the rest of these games when we know they don't really matter, and so losing doesn't really matter, other than for pride and self-esteem. So I think you could see it out there with Brewster taking a shot that he had no business taking. Osborne honestly was the only one who looked like he wanted to get anything out of this game, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked him in that attacking midfield role. He really pressured the defense very well. He does that normally, but when you put him in the center up front, I think it really worked. So maybe there's a solution there. Once you have more people healthy, maybe taking Lundstrom off and shifting the midfield three around where Osborne's playing further forward than Fleck and Norwood. It's a possible solution, but again, I wouldn't be too hopeful that it would work and get us wins. at this point. So, anyways, we just gotta hold on. Keep with the team, keep backing them, and hopefully we have some positive news on, maybe a new manager before the end of the year, and hopefully we can see, players like Berga or Jack O'Connell, coming back, Bash, one more time before the end of the year. And so hang in there, Blades. It's going to be a bumpy ride.